Welcome everybody, I'm your host Jerry, and today we're embarking on a journey to the country of France. For this episode we have lovely talented chefs for us who's gonna teach us layering the flavors and mastering different techniques used in the French cuisine. So let's continue with the first dish of the episode. And here we have Shilpa with us. Welcome Shilpa to the show.
Hi Jerry.
So what are we cooking today?
We're going to be making a French classic dish called quiche.
Quiche. Wow, the name itself sounds familiar.
It's very unique.
Oh, okay. Okay, so let's get started. So let's get on with the ingredients here.
Okay, so it's a very simple dish and it only has 3 key ingredients, which are 2 cups of mozzarella cheese, 2 eggs, 1 cup of half and half, pie crust, and of course salt and pepper to taste. We're going to start off by cracking the eggs. You want to help me, Jerry?
Sure, Shilpa.
Thank you.
Okay. Go ahead, you start first.
Okay.
All right. Good. Let me just try my part. Okay, so 2 cracked eggs. Okay.
It actually originated from Germany, which is pretty funny, but it quickly brought its way over to France, and it's been a really famous dish ever since.
Wow, that's kind of a history about quiche, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you keep eating until you get the perfect mix?
The perfect consistency. You don't want to
Okay.
see any of that really bright yellow yolk.
Okay.
So you want to make sure it's that consistency.
Okay, so this is how it's gonna look. After this consistency is what they require for this.
Yes.
Okay.
And can you pass me that?
Okay.
And if you want, you can just pour it in. We're going to pour in a cup of half and half.
Okay, so half and half. There's different types of milk, right?
Yes.
Okay.
This is half and half is what gives you more of a creamy texture. Of course, you can use low-fat milk or any type of percent of milk. It's really to your taste.
Okay.
So we're going to whisk that as well.
I'll help you with that.
Sure.
Okay.
And we're going to slowly start adding in the mozzarella cheese as well.
Okay. Mozzarella. So, is there any alternative for the cheese? Because we might find cheese with different varieties of cheese in stores. So, we have to use mozzarella in this?
Well, mozzarella is my favorite cheese. You can use any cheese you want. 1 cup of cheddar and 1 cup of mozzarella, but you have to make sure the 2 cheeses go well with each other. For example, you can't have cheddar cheese and blue cheese because they don't mix good together.
Okay. All right. Okay, so we put a lot of cheese in this.
Yes.
So French people,
Cheese
they love a
heavy.
lot of cheese
They
in
love
their
cheese.
food.
And pastries, which is why our pie crust is actually sweet.
Okay. So is this the consistency that we need?
It's perfect. Yes.
Yep.
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so the pie crust is next.
Okay. All right. This looks so beautiful.
Sturdy. It's actually cracked graham crackers. It seems like the perfect consistency. So Jerry, can you do me a favor and pass the salt and pepper?
Sure. Here you go.
Thank you.
Here's your pepper.
Thank you. Do you like it spicy?
Oh yes. I
So
mean.
we're gonna add in a lot.
Oh, okay. So do we add anything else other than these? Because I normally see people do a lot of testings, put more stuffs in it. So can we do that in this?
Yes, people tend to add in anything like bacon, broccoli, cheddar, any type of vegetables, which is completely normal, but I want to make it very basic and easy for everyone to make.
Okay. All right. So
Seems like it's mixed.
okay.
Then I'm gonna pour it in.
Yep. So Shilpa, what's this crust all about? It really looks such, so beautiful, like shaped like a plate. So tell me more about the crust.
It's actually a sweet crust, right? So it's graham crackers
Okay.
blended in with butter, and it gives you like a perfect sturdy pie crust.
Oh, okay. So it's normally used because I do see when we having pies and everything, we have the same
Yes.
crust, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And you can see that it's not filled to the top because it does tend to rise up.
Oh,
so
okay.
putting it right here is just perfect.
So just a tip for you guys, just ensure that you never fill up, till the brim so that when it rises up, it doesn't come out,
Right,
right?
right.
Okay.
So I already preheated the oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay.
And we're gonna put it in there for 15 minutes.
Okay.
Now remember, that's 425 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, it's not done yet,
Okay.
so you're gonna have to decrease it to 300 degrees Fahrenheit and cook it for another 25 minutes.
Oh, okay. So it's 15 minutes at the start and then 25 minutes after you decrease the temperature, right?
To 350, yes.
Okay, so that's in total more than a half an hour, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you gotta wait for another half an hour and let's see how it looks after that, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So here's our classical French dish, quiche.
Oh, okay. It really smells so amazing.
I
Shilpa.
know, you can really get that scent.
Just when you got it out from the oven, oh my God, the vanilla. It smells like kind of vanilla kind of thing.
That's the crust, that's the
Wow.
sweetness of the crust.
Okay, so it's all the magic of the crust.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's
Okay,
cut it out.
Let's dig in.
Okay.
See the eggs and the cheese.
Wow, you see, it's perfect. It's just settled down so nicely with the crust.
Yeah.
I mean, the smell itself tells me how delicious it's gonna be.
It's gonna taste really good. If you know your kitchen smells good, then you know the food is delicious.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, so let me just try it out. And I think you should have, when you're trying it for the first time, you should have everything in it, like the crust, the pieces, everything in it.
Ready?
Okay, let's go for it.
That was good. What do
Oh
you
my
think?
God. Shilpa is really amazing.
Thank you.
The egg, yeah, and the crust. You told me about the sweetness of the crust, so it's the sweetness plus the egg and the milk has been in a perfect combination. It's a perfect mixture. I really love it.
Yeah, the sweet and savory really come hand in hand in this dish, and it just tastes
Classical.
Yeah.
That's what the word is. Anyway, so thank you so much, Shilpa, for showing us one of the French dishes, how what they eat at home. And it's, as you know, it's so simple. A few ingredients that's used in this. I hope you guys are gonna make this at home as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And you guys have a great day. So here we are for the second dish of the episode, and here we have Shani with us. By now you guys are so familiar with her with the, she makes so much amazing dishes for us. And welcome Shani on the show.
Thank you.
And what are we cooking today?
We are going to be making a classic French dessert. It's called meringue.
Oh, okay. I think it's the cookies, something like a sweet.
Yes, so we're going to be making meringue cookies. You can put meringue on top of pies or cake, but today we're specifically going to make cookies.
Wow, okay.
So let's go over the ingredients first.
Okay.
Okay, so in that bowl closest to you, that's white granulated sugar. That's about 1/4 cup.
Okay.
Okay, then we have powdered sugar, 2 tablespoons. We have unsweetened cocoa, 2 tablespoons. We have quite a large lemon. It doesn't have to be that large, but you just need a lemon.
It's so big.
And then we have 2 eggs.
Okay.
Okay, and that's all we need. This is a very simple dish. Doesn't require too many ingredients.
Okay.
The cocoa powder and the powdered sugar are actually additional ingredients To make the basic meringue, all you need are egg whites and the white sugar, okay?
Okay.
All right, so let's get started.
All right.
Okay, so in this recipe, although we have 2 eggs, we're only gonna be using the egg whites.
Okay. Is there any reason why we're using egg white?
With the egg whites, we're gonna put it in the mixer and whip them. And when you whip egg whites, they get very light and fluffy and airy. So that's gonna be very characteristic of the meringue cookies.
Okay.
Okay, so let's get started.
All right. Get the bowl.
Thank you. So I'm using 2 bowls just in case we don't get any of the egg yolk and the white mixed together. With meringue, you just have to be very careful. If you get any sort of grease, like make sure your bowl is clean, you can't have any grease, any oil, anything touching your egg whites. You can't have any egg yolk in there either because that's just gonna affect the way that the egg white's set up, okay?
Okay.
So we gotta be very careful about this, okay?
So as Shani just explained, we just need the egg white, not the yolk.
So you carefully make this back and forth motion. Just get all those egg whites in, okay?
Okay.
We have our egg yolk still cradled in the shell. And there we go. This is our egg yolk. We're gonna put that aside. You don't have to throw it away. You can of course use it for any other. And we have our second.
Okay.
So again, we're gonna try to get just the egg yolk in there. So this is meringue 101 right here.
Yeah, you really need good skills to take out just the egg white.
I don't know about that. You just have to be very careful. So there you go. We can just put that to the side. We're not gonna use that at all. So what's
Okay.
great about this recipe is it's low in fat and low in calories because we're using egg whites, which have, about 14 grams of protein, so it's good. Not as much as the egg yolks, but no fat, low in calories. The only thing is you're using quite a bit of sugar. So that's the only thing you have to be careful about. Okay, so we can put that to the side.
This is just the protein, that's it. And we don't need this, right? So I'm gonna put it aside.
Yeah, you can put it to the side. So this is just a nice light snack that they like to eat in France. So we need a nice clean bowl, okay? And what we're gonna do, we're just gonna add our egg whites in, okay? And with our egg whites, when we separated them, we wanted our eggs to be nice and cold. That'll help the egg white separate from the egg yolk. When we
Okay.
actually start making the meringue, we want the egg whites to cool a little bit. Okay, so while they're cooling, why don't I tell you a little bit more about why we're using what we're using?
Okay.
Okay, so we need the white sugar because we want this to be a dessert. We want it to be a little bit sweet, right? With the lemon, what's classically used in this recipe is something called cream of tartar. It's this powder that gives the meringue this stability so that it forms a stiff peak when you make the cookies. Now, cream of tartar is not something that you find normally, so if you don't have it in your house, you can use something acidic like a lemon. It's the acidity that makes this meringue, okay? So the lemon is all that you need, okay? So we'll just let that set up again. Do you want to know a little bit about the history?
Sure. So let's get this. I was just wanted to know because when we doing the egg, and you just wanted to also know about the history. I was just about to ask you about that. So yeah, you can go ahead and tell me the history now.
Okay, so it's a French. This is a very French recipe, but it originated in a Swiss village.
Oh.
Okay, that's what they say. There's people that contest that. The origin is a little bit unknown, but people say it's from a Swiss village. But right now it's a very popular French dish. There's 3 types of meringues, and it's based on the technique. So what we're using now is uncooked egg whites.
Oh, okay.
That's very French. It's very easy to make. There's Italian and Swiss, where you use cooked egg.
Oh.
And I don't mean scrambled eggs. That's not what we're talking about here. When I say cooked, I mean that you have boiled sugar syrup mixed with the egg whites and then they're whipped. So it's a little bit of a different texture.
All right.
Okay, they're a little bit more sturdy.
Kind of a different technique.
Exactly. With these, we have to bake these to get them firm and to have stiff peaks. Okay, I'm just telling you all that now because once we get this mixer started, it's pretty loud, so you won't be able to hear me. Okay?
Okay.
So we're gonna start on about medium high at first. What we want to see is the egg whites to get frothy.
Okay.
Once you see that they get frothy, we're gonna add our lemon. And for every egg white, it's a half a teaspoon of lemon juice. Okay? So let's get started. Slowly increase. Okay, Jerry, so if you can take a look,
Oh yeah, okay.
you'll see that the eggs are nice and foamy.
Yeah.
Okay, at this stage, we're gonna add the next ingredient, okay?
Okay.
So as I said, we're gonna add our lemon, which is our acid,
Oh.
okay? So I'm just gonna give it a nice good roll. We want all the juices to come out. And then I'm gonna cut it right in half. Okay, and then can you pass me that measuring spoon? So remember what I said, it was half a teaspoon of lemon juice for every egg white, and since we have 2 egg whites, that's 1 teaspoon of lemon juice, okay? So it's easier for me to just squeeze it right in here. Don't want any seeds, just be careful you don't get any seeds in there. Can you hand me that spoon? In case you get a seed in there, that's fine, just take it out. Okay, so then we're just gonna add our lemon juice to the eggs. And then we're gonna turn the mixer back on medium high. And the next stage we're gonna see is soft peaks. So once we get there, I'll explain, okay? Our next step. So I'm gonna turn it back on.
All right.
Okay, so if you wanna take a look, now it's reached a stage that we call soft peaks.
Oh my God! Look at that shape and the color.
So it looks very cloud-like, right?
Yeah. I mean, it looks like the clouds in the heaven.
Exactly, that's a good description, like little pillows. So at this point, we want to add our sugar. Now we're gonna add it gradually because that sugar can get too heavy for this. So all the hard work you just put into this, all that air you incorporated into the egg whites are gonna get deflated. So we're gonna add our sugar in little by little, and then you're gonna start seeing immediately that the egg whites get stiffer and that they're shiny and that they start to hold their shape. Okay, so we're gonna add this in gradually. I'm gonna turn our mixer back on, all right?
Okay.
And then once we do that, we're also gonna put it on high.
Oh,
Before we're
okay.
on medium, we're gonna put it all the way up to high,
All right.
okay? So we're gonna be adding our last batch of sugar.
Okay.
What are the differences that you see, Jerry?
I mean, Shani, I do see that, it's getting more whiter in color. And, earlier it was kind of liquidish, and now it's getting, more fluffier. So, so this is what we normally, you see the changes right from, the liquid part to the, it's just getting more solidified.
Now, if you saw this right now, would you say that it was an egg? Does that look
No,
like an egg
it
to you?
doesn't
No,
really
right?
look, it really looks like cream, like a white cream.
Yes, it's a very unique dessert. It's not what you'd expect. And as this whisk is just turning, it's incorporating air, which is what we want.
Yeah, just getting more aeration in it. So if you get more of the aeration, better is the stuff that we get.
Okay, Jerry, so remember we added our 1/4 cup sugar in here gradually.
Okay.
Because we don't want to add too much or it's going to be too heavy for the egg whites. Because we
Okay.
incorporated all this air into it. If you put all the sugar in at once, it would just deflate. So we put it a little at a time, and as you see, our egg whites got really shiny and they're stiff. So the way that we know is, we just take back the whisk,
Okay, look at the color.
you invert it,
Perfect
and
cream.
that's how you know it's ready. That's how you say that it's stiff. Let's just take that out. All right, so we can
Here
just
you
set
go.
that aside.
Just
It's okay to
put it
lose
aside.
some. And this is just from 2 egg whites. Okay, so this is the basic meringue, but we're gonna be making chocolate meringue today. Okay?
Okay.
So that sounds good, I know. We're gonna be using cocoa powder, but this cocoa powder on its own is unsweetened. So if we just put it as it is, it would be a little bit bitter and not sweet.
Okay.
So we're gonna mix our cocoa powder with our powdered sugar, okay?
All right.
And we're gonna do it with our whisk. So first thing we wanna do, take this. Before we do any of that, we're gonna sift together our cocoa powder and our powdered sugar. And that just means putting it through the sieve so that there's no more clumps.
Okay.
Because we wanna avoid clumps in there, which is
There.
really airy right
Correct.
now, okay? So let's just put our cocoa powder in.
Okay, let me just put it aside.
Thank you. And now, if you can hand me the spatula. Yes. So what I'm gonna do, we got it all over the sides. So let's just take that in. We have to be very careful. This technique is called folding. You don't want to directly just go at it. You need to go softly in from every side because again, we've incorporated air, so you have to be very careful. And now little by little, yes.
You want me to help you with that?
Yes, please. Just little by little, we're gonna add the cocoa powder. That's good. So I'm just gonna work it through. And it's gonna give it this nice flavor. You can even smell the cocoa. Do you smell that?
Yeah.
It smells like a chocolate bar.
Oh yeah. It's more of the cocoa that is coming up, you know, the smell.
Yes. You can add more in.
Okay.
A little bit more. Again, we're just gonna slowly fold it in. And it's okay if there's streaks. That actually
Okay.
makes it look a little bit prettier.
So even I just came to know about this new technique of folding, as you just mentioned. So you know, this is the way that, as mentioned earlier, there was another technique how people in France do normally use a lot of techniques while they make their dishes. So this is another new information that it really will help me with my cooking.
Yes, you should all definitely try it at home. Just a little bit more. Save a little bit at the end.
Okay.
Yes. A little bit more, and that's good.
All right.
We want to save a little bit because when our cookies are done, we're just going to dust the top with a little bit of cocoa powder and powdered sugar. We're almost done. So I've already preheated the oven to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Now with meringue, it's low and slow, okay? You want the oven to be set really low from anywhere between 200 to 225 degrees Fahrenheit, okay? And it's gonna be in the oven for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. So there's not too many ingredients, but it takes a while to make,
Okay.
okay? But it's worth it, I promise.
And Shani, another question about, you know, when you were using the electric mixer, is there, because normally people don't have it, so is there any alternative of using, you know, instead of using the electric mixer?
I mean, of course, back in the day, they didn't have these lovely machines, you know, they did it all by hand.
Yeah.
You're just gonna get quite a workout. You know, you have to use a
Oh.
whisk and just constantly whisk. If it took us 5 to 10 minutes to do it on here, it would take you almost like 20 to 30 minutes to do it by hand. That's how dedicated you have to be to make meringue by hand.
Oh, okay, so just the traditional way, just use your hand.
Yeah, or you can get, you know, things like a hand mixer, but usually to make meringue quick and easy, you need an electric mixer. Okay, so we've finished folding it in. Now we're gonna pipe it. So
Okay.
if you have a piping bag, that's great, with a piping tip, you can get pretty designs. If you don't, here's a nice little thing you can do. If you have a Ziploc bag, right, which is what we're gonna do here, we're gonna open it up, and Jerry, I'm gonna have you hold it. Just invert it a little bit like this, okay, and just hold it open for me. Sorry.
There you go.
So let's bring this over. Okay, and I'm gonna put our nice fluffy egg whites right into here. Exactly, we're gonna try to get all of it in there. It's gonna get messy, that's okay, that's normal. And this just helps make it easy. Now, if you don't wanna pipe it in, you could always drop it in by spoonful. So your cookies will be a little bit larger and they might look a little irregular, but they'll taste the same. This does nothing for the taste, it just helps it look a little bit prettier. You know, French looks fancy, but
Yeah.
it's not that hard. Okay, we'll put that to the side. Okay, so then we put it back. We want to get it to one side, okay? That's what we're doing here. Try to get all the air out. Okay. And we want to leave a little bit room at the end because we're going to cut it. So we're going to make our own piping bag right now.
Okay.
And you can actually do this technique for like anything like buttercream frosting, anything that you need to pipe something on, you can use a Ziploc bag like this, okay? Bring our bag closer, and I'm gonna grab some scissors from in here. Thank you. Just snip off a little bit.
Okay.
So I always like to take a little bit out at the beginning. Okay. And then just to keep our parchment paper, which is what I've lined our baking tray with, to keep it from flying off, just put a little bit of meringue right there. And And right there. So it sticks. You see?
So another technique. So what just Shani showed, just to avoid the paper flying off, just use some of the same mixture, put it at the bottom.
Yes,
That's it.
multi-purpose meringue. That's what we're doing. So, I mean, this may not look the prettiest, but what we're gonna try to do right now is make a little rose cookie shape, okay? So we're gonna start from the center and just slowly work our way out. So you see how it's like a little rose cookie shape, right?
Yeah.
And it's just depending on how big you want it. I like little bite-sized ones because once they're cooked, you can just pop them in your mouth. They're just little light snacks. Nice light brown color from all our cocoa powder.
So you can really make it in any shape you want, right, Shani?
Of course. Yeah, definitely. If you want to make little like teardrop shaped ones, you can do that. If you want to make more swirls, you can do that as well. Just a couple more. These don't get too big once you put them in the oven, so it's okay if they're a little bit close to each other. Now, if you want to make the basic but put food coloring, that would look very nice.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but it's best to use gel food coloring, not the liquid kind.
Okay.
Okay.
Gel based.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're gonna
gotcha.
put this to the side. This is just extra. You can actually just store that for later to make meringue. Just put it in your fridge. Now this is gonna go in our oven. Remember I said it's 200 degrees and it's gonna stay in there for about an hour and a half. And the reason we want it in there for that long is we want it to dry completely. So the way that you know it's done is that when you touch it, it's firm and it's completely dry, okay?
Okay.
So it's gonna come out exactly in this shape and then we're gonna try it, all right?
All right.
Okay, Jerry, so we've taken out our meringue. So it was in there for about an hour and a half. Then we let it sit in that hot oven for about 10-15 more minutes. And they've been out here and been cooling for a little while.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna tell you to touch the one that you're gonna eat. Just see the texture of it. Go ahead.
Oh my God.
Firm, right?
Yeah.
That's what you want. You want it nice and dry and firm. And before you eat it, I'm gonna do one more thing. I'm gonna take a little bit of our cocoa powder and powdered sugar mixture. Just gonna dust it a little bit over the top. Not too much, just a little bit, just to make it look a little pretty. You can always skip this step, but just gives it a little bit extra sweetness and flavor. And then when you put it out on a nice platter, it looks nice.
So it's just a sugar and cocoa, so basically you
can't go wrong with it.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and take the one of your choice.
Okay.
And it's crispy, so I would just recommend putting the whole thing in your mouth.
Oh.
Okay? Ready?
Right. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Such a perfect snack. It's really good. It's not that sweet. And the cocoa, you know, it really has brought up, and you can really taste what I'm getting the feeling of. You know, I'm in France at the moment, so you know, it's really good, Shani. I mean, this is especially the techniques that you showed me. I really was amazed with this. It
Yes.
really tastes good. Okay, so thank you, Shani. Thank you so much for showing us all these techniques and new dishes.
No problem.
All right, so I hope to see you soon in another few episodes as well. All right, thank you so much. Thank you for joining with us and the chefs at the Global Grill. I hope to see you next time with another country and another set of cuisines. Till then, au revoir.